Today we're going to see what's inside the rattle at the end of the rattlesnake's tail. And to start this video, we need to use this tool to get that rattle. Just listen to this. Look, even if you've never seen a rattlesnake, this sound probably already makes you a bit wary. The thing is, that's not exactly the sound a rattlesnake makes, even though this really is the rattle at the tip of a rattlesnake's tail. This snake shakes its tail really fast. So let's try to simulate what the real sound of a rattlesnake would be. Now you know that if you hear that little sound, you should get away. Yeah. Things are rough here. If a mosquito flies in front of the camera, don't mind it. Hey mosquitoes, where are you? Ouch. I could already be in Carrot Kid. Back to the snake. Because this video is about rattlesnakes, not about mosquitoes. You guys noticed that this video was recorded before we made that giant mosquito killing racket. 2. Ouch. For those of you who have never held a rattlesnake rattle, this is absurdly light and tiny. When you shake it, it makes this rattling sound. And something that has intrigued me since I was a child is what will fall out from inside when we open the rattle? Are there little balls that hit each other? Pieces of snake? Or what inside this thing causes it to rattle?
But Ivor, you're stingy and don't want to buy that little thing you plug in that scares away all kinds of mosquitoes.
Of course, I wouldn't open a rattlesnake's rattle without understanding why the snake has that thing on its tail. What is the rattle for, right? So, I invited Calugio Machado to join this video remotely. He's a snake expert and has a YouTube channel called Papa the Cobra, which I've linked in the card. You should check it out later, he shares important info about snakes. For me, the rattlesnake has always been a Brazilian snake?
No, it's native to the Americas. It ranges from southern Canada to northern Argentina. In the world, it depends on the classification, but there are around 40 species worldwide. In Brazil, there's only one.
We only have one, and it has that, all these species have that little tail.
The rattlesnake is the easiest snake to identify by its common name. It has a rattle, so it's a rattlesnake. It can't be mistaken for anything else. And we have rattlesnakes in Brazil, almost all over the country. There are only 2 states that don't have rattlesnake. Santo and Acre.
Wow, I didn't know that.
As for Espirito Santo, some people question that because it seems like it's coming in through Minas. A few years ago, there were no rattlesnakes in Rio de Janeiro. They came in through Minas.
What is the rattlesnake's rattle for? Is it like a warning, like don't come near me or I'll strike? Is that it?
Exactly. But here's what's interesting. Snakes are deaf, right? So it doesn't know it's making noise. Snakes, whether they're venomous or not, with or without a rattle, when they're stressed, they shake their tails. That's very common. Jararaca does that, Canonana boa constrictor. A lot of snakes do that, but this one has a rattle, so it makes noise. And that helps us, because we hear the noise. But it doesn't know it's making noise.
But if it's gonna hunt a rat, for example, which I imagine is the kind of animal it eats, then it can't raise its rattle.
Of course, then it's not in her interest, because she's not stressed. She stays quiet, right? Silent, to slowly catch the rat, which is what she wants to eat. These animals aren't dumb, no.
Wow, this is really fragile. It breaks really easily. I don't know if using the utility knife is a good idea. And its material is keratin. Yeah, it's the same material as nails, hair, things like that.
That's right. It's the same thing, and it's actually an extension of the skin. And every snake has to grow, right? Another interesting thing is that snakes never stop growing.
She didn't know that.
It takes her longer, with more time between each shedding. But as long as she's alive, she's growing, and she's shedding her skin so she can grow.
I think that with a utility knife, I'm gonna shatter the rattlesnake's rattle, because it's very brittle. I'll try with a small rotary tool. My God. Do a lot of people die from rattlesnake bites?
We have 30,000 snakebite accidents in Brazil every year.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And out of those 30,000, 90%, almost 90% are from Jararaca snakes, right? The second one that causes the most accidents is the rattlesnake. But it only accounts for 7% of the accidents. It goes from 90% for the first place, which is the Jararaca, to 7% for the rattlesnake. Why is this difference so big? First, because of the rattle, right? The rattle makes noise, people hear it, realize the rattlesnake is there, and don't get close. Another advantage the rattlesnake has to lower the number of accidents is that it lives in open areas. It's not inside the forest, so it's always in open areas, in the southern Pampas, in the Cerrado regions, in the Caatinga. It's always in open areas, so you can see it more easily. It's not camouflaged like the Jararaca is. And just hearing the animal, just hearing it, drops the risk from 90 to 7%. But the accident is serious, right? Whoever gets bitten, it's serious. There's a whole facial paralysis, which we call drunk animal face. Doctors call this myasthenic facies. It's a paralysis in the eye region. And then this paralysis starts to go down and the person gets a bit dizzy, a bit disoriented. The eye drifts and the person looks blank like this.
But that must also make it harder for the person to seek help, right?
Absolutely. If they're alone out in the woods, they might even faint. Right, but what actually kills them is kidney failure. The rattlesnake's venom, unlike the Jararacas, goes straight to the kidneys. So the person dies from kidney failure.
Wow.
And it's the animal that kills the most, even though it's not the one that causes the most snakebite cases. It's the snake that kills the most in Brazil. It's the rattlesnake.
There's a smell of burnt hair coming out, really nasty. Especially from the first two little segments, there was even smoke coming out. Is it true that each segment of this tail corresponds to a year of the rattlesnake's life?
When the snake is born, it actually only has this part right here. It's born with this, which we call the terminal button, just the very tip. Then it sheds its skin, right? Sheds its skin. Actually, I have a shed skin here too. When it sheds its skin, it comes off just like when we take off a glove, right? It's inside out. So the snake's skin is exactly what it is, but inside out. It's keratin, so it's the same material. Then, when it gets to the very end, this little button here, it doesn't come off. It gets stuck. Then it creates a second little button. Soon it's going to shed its skin again. Then it creates a third little button. And it sheds its skin 3 to 4 times a year. That's why I can't count the number of rings and think that's the number of years. But then you might say, okay, but at least proportionally if I have a snake with a rattle this size. Oh, let me get another one here. And one with a rattle this size, let me lift it up here, is probably older than this one. No, because when this gets too big, it breaks. And it all starts over again. It's kind of like Siberia as if it were our fingernail. You let it grow, and at some point it gets too long, it breaks. And it all starts over again.
The rattle kind of fell apart at the end here. So I'm having to put together a sort of puzzle. I think I managed to finish. This is what's inside the rattle on the rattlesnake's tail. Before you watch, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, we open things here that you can't even imagine. I've even opened an airplane black box. Just click the subscribe button and then the bell, all right? The question now is, where are the little balls that were supposed to be inside the rattlesnake's rattle? The truth is, there aren't any balls at all. The sound the rattle makes comes from one internal piece hitting another. This rattle is made up of several different little pieces nested inside one another. And now I'm going to separate these little pieces. I'll take them apart and you'll understand better. It's kind of like a chain, with each link holding on to the other, and when you shake the chain it makes noise. Let's see if I can disconnect it here. Ah! Look at this little piece of the rattle. This is a link of the chain. When the snake shakes, it hits the other one. To finish, I wanted to show you the consequences of today's video, the last links of the Rattlesnake's rattle.
You're a pain. You killed the Zika virus, the mosquitoes, yellow fever, chikungunya. And